Hello, my name is Kyle Chen, and I will be teaching you today about polyatomic ions. Now, what is a polyatomic ion? Well, simply put, they are a group of atoms that have a charge. You should be familiar that individual atoms themselves can have a charge. Some examples of these individual atoms are Na plus or Cl minus. These are just individual atoms with their own charge. Poly, a Greek root meaning many, signifies that more than one of these atoms has to come together to form a polyatomic ion. The charge of polyatomic ions can be positive or negative. Positive polyatomic ions are called cations, and negative ions are called anions. As you saw before, there are many polyatomic ions. Unfortunately, there is no better way to learn them than memorization. Before you start this task, though, let me give you some knowledge about these ions. First, nomenclature is important when studying polyatomic ions. Among the common polyatomic ions are phosphate, sulfate, carbonate, nitrate, chlorate, bromate, and iodate, which have more rules to them. These ions can have a different number of oxygens and therefore different names. You just have to know the amount of oxygens that goes along with each name. There are two main suffixes when naming these common ions. The first is ate, and the second is ite. Ions with the suffix ate always have one more oxygen than the ion with the suffix ite. For example, phosphate has 4 oxygens, and phosphite has 3. The prefixes per and hypo are also used to indicate the number of oxygens. Adding the prefix per means adding one more oxygen than ate, and adding hypo means one less than ite. So in order from the amount of oxygens from least to greatest, it goes hypo, ite, ate, and then per. It is important to remember that no matter the prefix or suffix, the charge of the ions remains the same. Another addition to these common polyatomic ions is adding a hydrogen. One example of this is adding a hydrogen to carbonate to form bicarbonate. Adding a hydrogen is different because it doesn't change the amount of oxygens, and it changes the charge. The hydrogen acts as a proton, and a +1 is added to the charge for each hydrogen added. That's all for polyatomic ions. Thanks for watching.